Welcome to Piste Perfect Ski Resort Builder, a sandbox management simulation game inspired by classics such as Roller Coaster Tycoon and Theme Hospital, as well as modern automation sims such as Satisfactory. We're going to play through a short tutorial scenario that will show the basics of building lifts and pistes, as well as the accommodation for guests who want to book holidays to stay in the resort. Holiday bookings being, of course, one of the key revenue streams that we need to progress in the game. So let's dive into a new game. Here is our mission and two initial objectives. We're going to build a miniature resort starting with a ski lift, and we have to not go bankrupt along the way. As we play, we'll be notified of any change to these objectives or if we receive any new objectives. Before we choose where to put the first chairlift, let's call up an overlay. This overlay will show us which slope areas are more suitable for beginners, that's green, through intermediates, blue, and advanced skiers, red, or even black at the top end for the expert skiers. If we pitch the camera up a little bit, we can see that the red slopes really continue up the mountain. So let's start the chairlift below the tree line on the flatter section. The trees themselves were placed using a PCG workflow. And the PCG tools are one of three Unreal Engine features that are worth mentioning as incredibly beneficial for the development of this game. The other two features being Nanite Virtualized Geometry and the Mass Entity System. That's the first objective complete. So now we have to build a piste from the top of the lift down to the bottom of the lift. The common thread that ties together PCG, Nanite and Mass Entity is the breadth of scale that we want to try to encompass within our mountainside resort. Generating content procedurally allows us to take a much higher level view, literally in this case, as we fly over the landscape. Starting with some obvious data points such as altitude and landscape normal, we can build up a data rule set that will determine where the foliage appears in a natural looking fashion. Both the chairlift and the piste are then applying their own masks to remove the trees from those areas. The chairs themselves are mass entities. They spawn dynamically according to a spacing rule along the cable spline, and then animate moving along that same spline. With the placement of the log chalet, we've completed the first mission. As in so many games, we will opt to keep playing just a little bit longer to see what else we can do in this sandbox. Who doesn't love a ski-in, ski-out chalet? So we're going to join the log chalet onto the main piste, and the guests will head down to the chairlift. As was mentioned earlier, Nanite Virtualized Geometry is a real asset to this sort of game. As we bring the camera down towards the landscape, there's no obvious transition between different levels of detail. We're having and eating both of our favourite cakes, the faraway practical view that allows us to build the resort, and the tasty looking frosting when we zoom in close. Currently waiting to board the chairlift, the guests will soon be riding up to the top of the piste where they can ski down. Let's take the camera back to an overview and add one more piste, so we can see how that will blend in smoothly with the first piste that we built. The current development roadmap is aiming for an early access release in spring 2027. This release will focus around a short series of mission scenarios that will guide the player through the game's core mechanics. As the resorts grow busier and more complex, larger, faster and more sophisticated chairlifts will be made available to the player. It's one of the core compelling features of the management and construction genre that the player is able to unlock or discover many technologies or abilities. And ski resorts have a wealthy history of different lift technologies and designs. It's a niche that has yet to be fully exploited given the abundance of visual serenity on offer. Unreal Engine provides the perfect platform for Piste Perfect, and we're very excited to keep developing this ski resort builder.